Hey everybody, this is Jeff. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about how to make a bunch of bad decisions on an adventure bike, and sometimes things still just turn out okay for you, but we're going to go over that today. So I left out of North Lake Tahoe. I had my dog in the trailer and the truck set up there, and it said I had about 4.5 hours of remaining battery life at current draw with the fans and everything that I had running to keep the dog cool. I keep him nice and safe. He's got tons of water, ice water, all this stuff. So he's very spoiled and very protected. But I plan on being gone for about 2 hours. So took off riding around Lake Tahoe, just doing some exploring. Ended up in Truckee sort of by accident. And I knew that the BDR left out of Truckee. So I figured, I'll at least ride that out to Donner Pass. Rode out to Donner Pass. That was cool. Then I ended up riding some of the California BDR southbound. I figured, maybe I'll just rip down to Elbers real quick. It won't take me too long. And so I started down that path, and here you can see right at the beginning I ran into a gentleman. His bike, he had dropped the bike, could not pick the bike up by himself, so I helped him get the bike up, and then he had continued on northbound out of towards Truckee, and so I continued southbound. He had given me a heads up, maybe it was about 40 miles of dirt, and then turned back to pavement. And this is where I'm going to start giving the education of what not to do. So, one, don't buy a GoPro. I mean, mine's a few years old, but you can see it clearly overheating there. And I did some research. It looks like the newer ones aren't a whole lot better. And I've been due for a camera for a year, so blah, blah, blah. Anyways, also, maybe don't listen to other people when they give you distance references and stuff like that. No offense to that guy, but 40 miles was totally not accurate. There was like 80 to 100 miles left, I believe, and I rode about 30 miles and looked like I had far more than 30 to go.
Sick.
So trust your GPS, trust your research,
baby.
do what you need to do. So as I'm riding down this BDR, I eventually see this other trail off to the side that looks like it sort of shortcuts straight across to the destination that I was hoping for, instead of the zigzaggy route that the BDR takes. So I look at it and I'm like, oh my god, it's single track. It's a shortcut and single track. What a blessing, right? I'm a sucker for single track on an ADV bike. Big bike, small trail. Can't have much more fun than that with your clothes on. So I take off down this single track. Mistake number 3 or 4, unknown trail, single track, big bike. Don't have much water, don't have any snacks, don't have much fuel, and I'd been gone about 3 hours at this point, and so I got an hour of battery life in the trailer, so now I'm freaking out about the dog a little bit.
Yeah.
He's my buddy. So I keep riding down the single track. Eventually I come to this hill like 7 or 8 miles in. I can't make it up the hill. I try it again. I bomb up the hill. Can't make it. Stuck on the hill. Not going to make it probably. So as much as I hated to do it, I had to turn around and burn those 7 or 8 miles on the way back out. Because if I did somehow make it over that hill, there could be an even steeper obstacle because I don't know this single track and I'm stupid and I tried this anyway. So now I go back to the BDR. Then all the fun starts. So I'll let this play for just a minute here. And now I'm back in the BDR, and this is where the real fun starts.
No. No way.
So I thought maybe vapor lock, it's fuel injected, I don't know, it seems odd, but I am at like 9,000, 10,000 feet, and I did get the bike pretty hot on the single track, so maybe? So I'm pretty nervous at this point, not knowing what caused that issue, but I figure, the bike's running, let's continue. Okay, pretty frustrated at this point. Don't know exactly what's going on with the bike. I thought maybe vapor lock or something. I'm at 9,000 to 10,000 feet and I got the bike real hot. But the pump is submerged in the fuel, so I don't exactly know, and I haven't had this issue since. But I'm gonna do some live narration here and let you guys hear what's going on. This part of the video was actually pretty fun, even though it's a shitty situation.
Well, folks, I don't know what's going on with the 990, but I'll be riding along and then she just stops, like she's just done giving me fuel. So now she's a downhill mountain bike, which is kind of sketchy because I'm not used to not being able to steer with the rear tire. And I'm 38 miles from civilization, so double, triple, I didn't plan on coming out here. I shouldn't have. Bad judgment call. I don't have much water. It's not super late in the day, so I don't see too many issues, but getting back to my truck is going to be a thing. I get about 30 seconds to a minute of ride, and then the bike just shuts off like it's not getting fuel. I can open the throttle blades, but doesn't seem to do much. I don't really know what's gonna happen when I get to the bottom of this hill, because maybe it's vapor locked or something. I don't know. But she's not real happy with me, so I'm maybe giving her a minute to cool off. And we're just gonna see what happens. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of fun. We're scooting pretty good. So I'm out here on the California BDR, and I went and rode a little single track, and I definitely got the bike pretty hot. So I don't know if I hurt something or if the tanks are just cooking, because they're right on top of the engine. So maybe it'll cool off a little bit, and then just gonna try to see what happens.
So don't mind the chain slapping around back there a little bit. That's what that noise is. But this was actually like kind of fun. I've definitely never done this on the 990 for more than, you know, a few seconds down a short hill or something. I've definitely never been able to just ride with no engine for minutes at a time, and it was just an odd feeling, and it was pretty fun. I mean, given the situation I was in, I was still trying to stay as positive as I could. But yeah, anyway, so this goes on for like another 4 minutes. But I'm not going to bore you guys with all this. I don't know how much altitude I dumped. A ton of altitude, and I think, you know, that little bit of airflow let the bike cool off enough. I still have not been able to replicate this issue, and I have ridden probably 1,000 miles since this ride on the 990. Pretty aggressively, and there's updates to come on the bike and why I was riding aggressively in these future rides, but it's been some upgrades to the 990, some big upgrades, so that'll be in the next video. But I'm gonna fast forward to the end of this hill and we'll see what happens. Okay, so the bike just starts right up, seems to run fine. Never had the issue since. Like I said, probably put 1,000 miles on the bike since this day, and have not been able to replicate. So, long story short, I get to this particular spot right next to this dam. You'll see me crossing the dam here in a second. I had stopped at this dam to decide, I think it's like French Meadows Reservoir or something like that, and I had decided I was going to try to find a new alternate route. So I went into Google Maps, and it wasn't really giving me much, even though I had downloaded the offline maps for that whole area. It just wasn't giving me a reasonable result. So I used Osmond, which is a GPS app that I love. I always recommend to people. And it told me there was a gas station, you know, like 30 miles away or some shit like that. And I was like, all right, I'm going for it. I'll try to behave and conserve fuel. The fuel light's not on. I know I can get, you know, mid-20s out of the fuel light. So I should be able to make it. And then I started riding down this Mosquito Ridge road, which was... you know, for lack of a better term, one of the best roads I've ever ridden. Super curvy, the views were just awesome. I had an absolute blast. So, you know, there's always kind of like a silver lining, I suppose, not to get all philosophical and stuff, but, you know, this ride was pretty rough, really down my spirits a little bit, just because I was worried about the dog mostly. You know, if I get lost and whatever, I'm not worried about that, but the dog I was really not feeling great about. So I'm kind of hustling, trying to get back to the dog, and I'm going to let this road play out for a little bit. It was taking me into a town called like Forest Hill or something like that, just outside of Auburn, and then it popped me back out on I-80, and I just hauled ass back to Truckee, and then hurried up and got to the dog real quick. Long story short, dog was fine. When I set up the battery monitor in the trailer, I actually set the voltage thresholds pretty high for the battery that's in that trailer, and when I got back, I had been gone a little over 6 hours. All the fans were still running. The battery monitor said it was at 0%, and it was beeping, probably annoying the dog really bad, but he was fine. He still had some ice water left. There was still ice in his water. There was a big chunk frozen when I left. And so long story short, dog was good, and I was kind of nervous for no reason. Luckily, I was very conservative with the amp hour ratings and voltages that I set up on the battery monitor, so everything was fine. The battery was good. Actually, the battery was so good that when I got back, I ran the water pump and the lights and the fan long enough to take a shower and everything, and it was still rating 0, but it was still rocking and rolling. It hadn't cut me off from a low battery voltage threshold or anything like that. So if you guys want to see a video on the trailer, it's sort of like a little overlanding rig that I built out of a 6x12 utility trailer. You know, did an axle flip, added battery, propane, battery monitor. It's got a big inverter, welded beds in it, fans, lights, party lights, all inside lights, outside lights, you know, all sorts of stuff. But it's a pretty sweet little setup. So I'm going to go ahead and let this video play out. This is just going to be me riding that Mosquito Ridge Road, and if you guys ever get a chance, you're on a bike, highly suggest this road. If you're afraid of heights, might not be a great road for you to ride because you're right next to the edge the whole time, but you basically ride down one edge of the mountain ridge, and then you'll cross over, and then the cliffs are on the other side of the road, and it was beautiful, and really some great riding therapy. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Let the rest of this video play out. Just like and subscribe if you would. My next video coming out is either going to be a GPS video on how to adventure bike, or it's going to be the new upgrades that I've started for the 990, which so far are amazing. And part of the clue to that would be that I end up in California again to get some of these modifications done. So some people may be able to figure that out, but I doubt it, kind of. Anyways, enjoy the video. Hope you guys have a great day. Plan your rides. Don't make stupid mistakes like I do. And if the shit does hit the fan, you know, just keep your head up, and ideally everything will work out like it does here, and you'll end up actually having a great ride. Get back, and the dog will be fine, and happy to see you. No worries. So thanks again. You guys have a great day.
bike. It's a view there. All the way through that road, all the way back down. Wow, this is a road, boys. There's a dam. That's crazy.